Have you ever looked at a landing page and saw some elements that you liked but not necessarily the whole landing page? Well, that happens to us quite often, and today we are gonna show in this landing page from scratch video how you can use inspiration and some elements from landing pages to make a whole new page. The first landing page that we saw that we are gonna take some inspiration from is the Positionally landing page. The thing we really liked on this page is this layout, with the image to the side, and to the other side you have this title and then a paragraph and the requested demo button. This is a nice layout and we want to use this on our own page. And the second landing page we're taking inspiration from is the one from Front Door. As you can see, they have this really cool box element in between the first and the second section of the page that really pops out. So that's a nice element that we want to use in our own landing page. And they also have something very interesting layout here. They have this 3-column layout, but that looks very dynamic because of the typography and like the different titles and so on. So that's also something that we want to use on our landing page. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use these different elements in a homepage landing page that is not only very nice looking, but also conversion focused. And this is the landing page we are going to build. As you can see, we have the box popping out with an opt-in form. And then we have this layout with the image to the side and the bottom with the headlines. And next, here, you might recognize the layout that I just showed you on the Front Door landing page. Now, let's get started. Go to your website and create a new page. We're going to save this as a draft and edit it with Thrive Content Builder. The first thing we want to do is make this page a landing page. So go to Thrive Landing Pages, choose a landing page, go to the Thrive Templates Cloud, and we're going to start from the blank full width page. So if you haven't already, download it, and you can then click on the open button to load it on your page. Now let's start building our landing page. The first thing we want to do is change the settings on this landing page to match the fonts that we actually want to use. So go into Thrive Landing Pages and choose the landing page settings. From here, we are going to adapt the landing page fonts. As you can see, you can choose the landing page fonts from the different headings and for the paragraph, and this will allow you also to load custom fonts. So from here, you can add a new custom font, or you can use one of the fonts that's already in the list. If you add a new font, this will open a new window, and from here you can simply click on the Add Custom Font, Show All Fonts, and in this list you will have all the Google fonts that you can use. So I already loaded the fonts that I want to use for this landing page, so I'm not going to do this now. So for this landing page, I want the heading 1 to be Poppins and 70 pixels. The heading 2 is Poppins also, 42 pixels. Heading 3 is Lato, 30 pixels. And the paragraphs are Lato also, and 18 pixels. And I can also choose the different colors so that I don't have to set them again. The heading is white, and you can see that immediately the heading that's already on the page is changing. Heading 2 and 3 are this dark gray, and the paragraph color is this little lighter gray. Okay, so now that we have this set up, I won't have to change it anymore during the creation of this page. So this actually saves a lot of time. Now, we don't need this logo, so I'm just going to delete it. And the first thing we want to do is make this section darker. Now, you might be asking why I'm changing the background color of this section, even though we are going to put an image on this section. Well, this is because an image loads a little slower than the background color. So you want your heading to be readable, even though the image isn't there yet. So that's why we changed the background color to a dark color so that our white heading will be readable, even though the image isn't loaded yet. And let's choose our background image now. I'm gonna make this a full height image. And now the first thing I want to do is put the logo in there. So I'm simply gonna put a center aligned logo on the top. You can see that here there is a little margin between the top of the screen and the image. So to take this margin out, I have to click on the section, go to margin, and actually apply a negative top margin. So here 15 pixels is okay. So you put -15. The next thing I'm going to do is put a content container in here so that I can actually decide about the width of the title. So let's make this content container 960 pixels. And now when we put the title in here, this will only span over 960 pixels. Let's center align this title and let's put the right text in there. Now you can see here that there is something that's called your content here. So we're just going to delete that. And we're gonna change the margin of this title to put it lower on the image. So click on the title, click on margin, and here we're gonna apply 140 pixels. Now, this is our first section. This is what people will see immediately when they arrive on the page. So we want to make sure that the title we are using here is super clear and that it immediately communicates what the site is about. Now I can either copy this section or I can go into the Thrive Themes elements and put a new page section in there. And I'm gonna make this page section light blue. So click on the background color and I already saved this light bluish color. The next thing I want in this section is a paragraph with a quote from the author. In this section, I'm gonna put some more information about the creator of this website. So we're gonna put some text in there, make the text a little bigger, have this center aligned, and we're also gonna put a signature in this section. So let's drag an image on the page, add media, and here I have a signature image. I'm gonna center align this, and we're gonna add a little bit more margin to the top. So now already when somebody arrives on the page, they know immediately what the website is about, and they have some more information about Anna Smith, who is the creator of this yoga website. Now what I want to do is to add a conversion element in this above the fold area. So I'm gonna put a new content container to make our white box. Remember the white box that we saw on the second landing page? That was a very nice element that popped out. And so that's the box that I want to use for our opt-in form, so for the conversion focused element on this page. So first of all, to have a box that is smaller than the full width of the page, I have to put a content container, so that's what I did, and I'm gonna make this 800 pixels. The next thing, I don't need any text in this content container, so I can just cancel the text, because I actually want to put a box in there. I'm gonna choose a content box without a headline, and I'm gonna choose style 5, because that's the one that has the background colored, and we want to have this as a white box. So first of all, I'm gonna choose to change this background color to white. And we're gonna apply also a shadow on this box. So go to the external shadow color. And here we're actually gonna choose a pretty dark gray, but we're gonna put this on only 15%. So. And next up, we're gonna choose this shadow to be only on the bottom of the box. So let me show you what happens when I'm doing this. So as you can see here, we have the shadow all around the box. And what we want is a shadow only to the bottom of the box. As you can see now, the shadow is only to the bottom. The next thing we want to do is add a border radius. So we're gonna make this a little rounded corners, let's say 10 pixels. And now this box looks pretty much like I want it to. Let's add a title in there, make this 25 pixels, center aligned. It's a 7-day bonus, so we're gonna make that element pop out. I have this red already saved, so I'm gonna use this color. And now we want to add a lead generation element in this box. So in your content builder, you can find an element that's called lead generation. Here we go, drag it in there. And now we're gonna customize this lead generation element. Click on it, make it horizontal. And the most important thing will be to change this button. So we're gonna click on Edit Components, the Submit button. And from here, I can change the text to Join Now. I will make this element, I will change the color of this button. So go into the color panel and you can see the button background color. So we want this to be a red button and the text should be white. So let's change that too. And let's make this 18 pixels, so a little wider. This doesn't look too bad. One thing I want to do is make the opt-in form a little smaller. So I'm clicking on the opt-in form again and then go into dimensions. I'm going to make this 720 pixels and let's center align this. This looks better. And now we can just apply margins so that we have a little bit more space around this. Now that we have our box looking the way we like it to, we can change the margin so that it actually arrives between this first and the second section and that it pops out. So here, click on it and on the margin, we're going to apply again a negative margin. So minus 140. Now, look what just happened. This box is in between the first section with the picture and the second blue section. And save this and preview. Now you can see that when somebody arrives on this screen, they will immediately see the title, the opt-in form, and they'll see that there is more information so they can scroll down. This is very important that you have a conversion-focused homepage and that people know immediately what to do and why they are on this website. Now let's continue building this page. The next section we want to add is a white section. So again, you can either drag a page section on there or copy one of the existing sections. Click on it, so we can change the background color to white. And the first thing we want to add is the title. Let's make this H2, center align it, and give it a little bit more margin to the top and to the bottom. Now the following element that we want to put on this page is the layout that you saw on the first landing page. So the one with the image to the right and with the title, a paragraph and the button to the left. For this, we're going to start with a 2-column layout. So you can either choose from the column layout and put a 2-column layout, or you could start with putting the elements on the page and then dragging them one next to each other. So here I'm going to start with the image in the right column. So I can delete this text, I don't need it. Click on the Add Media and choose the image. I want this image to be center aligned. I'm gonna add a little style to have a nice shadow around this image. So I'm gonna put the lifted style 1. And on the other side, we want a first title. We can make this a heading 3. And then we want the paragraph. And next we want a button. To make this button match the page, you can click on it. Let's choose style 2 to have rounded corners. Make this the same red as we're using everywhere on the page. And have the text color, here we go, have this white. And we want this to say read more. Here in the link settings, you can change the text of the button and you can also put the URL for where you want this button to link to. So I'm not going to do this because this is a demo site, but you should link this up. Now we can play a little bit with the margin and with the paddings to make this look better. So the first thing I want to do is have this image higher up. So I'm going to take out the top margin. And let's take a look at this heading. We're going to add a little top margin here. And as you can see, this paragraph text spans all to the border of the column. And we don't want this. We want this to be a little smaller. So what we're gonna do is change this, go into the padding settings, and here to the right, we're gonna put a 50 padding, a 50 pixel padding. So you can see that now here we have 50 pixels where the text won't be able to go. So this will look nicer in our layout. And we're gonna add a little bit of margin above the button also. Now, this layout looks pretty good, so we can simply copy it. Make sure to have the whole column layout selected and click on the green copy button. 1, 2. And now all I have to do is go in here and change the image for another image. And this will automatically keep the margin and all the other settings that were already in there. So using the copy function will save you a lot of time when you have to make exactly the same layout. So now that we have this 2-column layout, let's add another section. We're gonna make this section blue again. So choose the same light blue as before. Add in the title, make this an H2, center align it, and we're gonna put the same margin as we did with the other titles in the section. So here what I want in this section is a 4-column layout with an image and then a title and a little paragraph. So to get this, I'm gonna put the image in there. And I'm gonna actually center align this image. Now I can simply copy this image 4 times and put it one next to the other. Now I have my 4-column layout and I can change my images. Now the next thing I want underneath this image is a little title and a paragraph. Let's center align this and link this to what would normally be our course page. So insert a link. And I'm gonna make this text the red color we've been using and let's make it bold. And then I'm gonna add a paragraph, so a little bit of explanation text in there. And we're also gonna center align this. Now I can simply copy this title and change the text rather than having to change every time the settings and the color and so on. So copy this, put it underneath here. Let's do that again. One more time. And we can do the same with the paragraph. Now we can simply go in there and change the titles. And this is our Discover Our Classes 4-column layout. Now, what I would also do on this layout is actually link up the images, because many people will click on the image instead of on the title. So you can click on this image and simply here put in the link that you want and then click on Insert. So that's how you make this image a link. Now, this is our Discover Our Classes section. And the next section is again inspired from one of the landing pages that we saw in the beginning. It's a 3-column layout. Let's start with making a new section on the page. We'll make this background white. And put a title. Again, to keep the design consistent, we're making this a header too, center aligned, and have the same top and bottom margin. Next, like we said, we need a 3-column layout. So I'm gonna start by putting in the 3 columns. And what I'm gonna do in these 3 columns is actually put a content container in each one of them. You'll soon understand why I'm doing this. And now let's start putting the biggest title in here. Let's make this H4. Choose Lato as the custom font. Have it to be 24 pixels and make it bold. And we're also going to change the color of this text. So make it the dark gray. Add a paragraph and add some text in there. Now this is our first column. The second column, we want again a title, but let's make this 20 pixels and also bold. and in the same gray color. Now we're going to put a paragraph in there. And we want to have these nice looking numbers, so the 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. So we're going to do this with an image. And add number 1, insert it here. Let's copy this for number 3, because number 2 will be here. And again, add an image. Make this number 3. Okay. And now to make sure that the title is actually next to this image, you have to click on the image again and align it to the left. Now to make this look good, we can change the margin a little bit. Let's say 15. And let's do the same with the second one. So again, align to the left the image and then add a margin so that the title is next to the number. And now we can actually copy this whole layout. So that's one of the advantages of having a content container. And put it in here. So I actually didn't need this content container because I copied one. So I'm going to cancel this one. And now we simply can click on the image and change it for the other number. So 2 and 4. Save changes and preview this. Now there is one thing that I don't really like in this layout, and that's actually why we put the content containers in there. Because as you can see, there is very little margin in between the columns. So here the text almost spans to the other text, and that's a bit annoying. So what we want to do is make the columns a little more narrow, but still keeping this 3-column layout and still making sure that it looks good on mobile. So that is the reason why we added the content containers. Let me show you how you now, by changing the size of the content container, you can have more spacing in between the columns. So let's click on the content container and make it 345. So as you can see, it became smaller. Let's do the same here. Make sure that we select the container and not the individual text. 345. And let's do the same here. And now you can see that the spacing between the columns looks much nicer. So that's the reason why we put the content containers in the column layout, so that we could actually change the spacing of the whole element without having to change the individual paddings and margins of each element. Now, one element that can be missing on a conversion-focused homepage is testimonials. So let's put the testimonials section in there now. Make a new section. And again, because the testimonial text is going to be white, I want to make sure that the color of the background is very dark so that it's immediately readable. The background image is this one. And we're going to use a Thrive Ovation Display Testimonials element so that we can put a nice looking testimonial in there. So click on Display Testimonials. Let's go for the default slider. We can create a new display template and I can choose the tags. So I can select all the testimonials that are tagged with yoga. Continue. I don't have to save this. And now I have testimonials that are tagged with the yoga tag on this page. So first of all, let's make this match our page, because this green isn't really matching. So I'm going to click on it and make this the white. But actually what I want is to have this as a transparent testimonial so that we can see the background image. So let's click on this background color and put the opacity to 0. Now, as you can see, we have to change the other elements also, and we're going to make everything white. So the text color is going to be white. The quote color is also going to be white. And we don't want a border around it. So again, here we can put the opacity on 0 to not have a border. Okay. Now we have this nice looking testimonial on our homepage. So let's save it again. Now, if people scroll all the way down on your homepage to this point, they are really interested in what you have to say. So it's time to give them another call to action. New page section. We want this one to stand out, so let's make it red. I'm gonna put a call to action in there. Have a little explanation paragraph about the offer. And we're gonna add a button in there. So let's take a button, drag it on there, make this style 2, center align it. We're gonna put it a little lower, so let's add some top margin on there. Make the text a bit bigger. So in link settings, you can change the text. Let's make this button white, so the background color will be white and the text color will be red. Okay. And we're gonna add a little bit more margin to the bottom also, so that this red section really stands out. Now you have two options with this button. The first one is you can link back to the first section of your page, or the second one is you can actually have a light box pop up when somebody clicks on this button. So if you want the page to actually scroll back to the top and go to this opt-in form, you have to select this box and give it a custom ID. Let's call it opt-in. Now, to link this button here to that form, you go to link settings, and instead of putting an HTTP address, you can simply put a hashtag and opt-in. Let's preview what this actually does. So when somebody scrolls all the way down on your page and clicks on this Join Now button, they are sent back to this first opt-in form. Another and even more efficient way to get more leads is to link this button to a lightbox. So when somebody clicks on this button, a lightbox will show and they will be able to put their email address in there immediately. So to do that, you click on this button again. We're gonna take out this link in the link settings because we don't need it anymore. And you can click on Event Manager. So from here, you click on Add Event. And you select the trigger as being on click, and the action should be to open a Thrive Lightbox. If you have Thrive Leads installed, I suggest you use a Thrive Leads Thrive box, because that will allow you to actually have all the statistics of how many people have seen the opt-in form and how many people subscribed. But if you don't have Thrive Leads, you can still use this. You just select the Open a Thrive Lightbox. So that's what I'm going to do now. And as you can see, you here have the possibility to generate a new landing page lightbox. So when you click on this, this will create a new lightbox and you can click on it to edit it. This will open a new window with a completely blank opt-in form. So this doesn't look like much, but you can very quickly and very easily personalize it. So let's do that now. Select the text, put it in there. And as the title, let's use your offer again. So join us now and get a 7-day bonus class for free. Let's make this one a title. And we're gonna match the custom font to the font we use on the homepage. So this is Poppins. Center align it. Let's use the same dark gray color. And as you can see, because I saved the colors, it's very easy to use the same colors. Let's make the 7-day bonus class pop out more. So we're gonna make that red. Okay. And the only thing we have to do now is add an opt-in form in there. So you can go again with the lead generation element. So simply select it, put it in there. We can go vertical or horizontal. Here, actually vertical looks pretty well. Let's make it a little smaller. And let's say 500. Center align it. And now we're gonna change the color of the button to be the same red as we use on the website. And we're gonna change the text. So when you go to the edit components, you can click on the submit button, and here you can change the text to join now. And now the only thing you have to do to make this a workable opt-in form is click on the opt-in form and connect it with the service. So that's exactly the same as you have to do each time that you use an opt-in form, and it's very simple. So now let's save this and go back to our homepage. Now all we have to do is here in which Thrive Lightbox do you want to be displayed. We can select the one we just made, so the number 3 in my case, and we can save this event. You can also select an animation. In this case, we don't want an animation. So just save the event and close this. Let me show you what happens now. So now when somebody arrives on your homepage and they scroll all the way down, they read your whole homepage and they arrive on this red section, the call to action. They see this button, join now, they click on it and they immediately get this opt-in form. Now, there is just one more thing that I want to add to this landing page, and that is a footer section. So first of all, let's put a section in there. We're gonna make this a really dark gray, and in this footer section, we're gonna have a 4-column layout. Now, you might have noticed that on this homepage landing page, we do not have a menu on the top of the page. So it is important on the bottom of the page to give people the possibility to discover other pages on your website. So that's what we're gonna put here. I'm gonna put titles in there. So the first one is about us. Let's make this white so we can read it. And then we're gonna copy this one so we don't have to style it again. Here we have our classes. And in the last column, we're gonna put social media buttons to follow us on social media. In the About Us section, you can put a little bit of information about yourself. Next, in our classes, we are going to put links to the different classes. And here I'm reducing the margin between the paragraphs a little so that the elements will be closer together. Now you can simply select this text and here link it up to the pages you want. Now let's copy one of these paragraphs because we already changed the margin and drag it in the third column. In the resources, you can link to your blog. Maybe you have a free guide or some video classes. And the last thing that I want to do on this page is put follow us buttons. So for that, you can choose the social sharing buttons, choose a default design. Let's customize this. So click on it, click on the social options and make this a Facebook like and a Twitter follower. We're not going to do Google+. The URL to like is the URL of the page, so we can leave this. And the Twitter follower is your username. So save this information. And now we have the follow buttons. And now to make this page perfect, let's just add one last section to put the disclaimer. Make this a very dark section. And let's add our disclaimer information in here. Save the changes. And let's preview the results. As you can see, we made a completely new homepage with elements inspired from other landing pages. We had this interesting box, this column layout with the buttons, this 3-column layout with the numbers. And this is a nice looking conversion-focused homepage. And if you are a Thrive landing page user, you can actually simply download the zip file that I made for you, and you can insert this entire layout in one click on your own website. You don't even have to build it from scratch. I hope you liked this landing page from scratch video, and if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below.